Are you judging somebody on their sexual preference? They've now created a flag and started a movement. Sounds kind of like the homophobes back in the day saying, oh, those gays are banding together and starting some kind of movement. How dare them have a preference? Fucking hypocrisy! Why can't straight men or straight women have a preference, but gay people, lesbians, non-binary, or anybody else on the spectrum can have a preference, a community, and a movement around their fucking preference? Don't hate and be ignorant. Allow people to have a preference, right?
Not transitioned. That is a sexuality. You have no right to tell us that we are making things up and all this when this is what we are. You know, you perpetuate this whole thing, this movement that, you know, we feel the way we feel and this is what we, you know, what we're attracted to or what we're not attracted to, how we feel, whatever. And it's all good. But now, because, you know, men and women like us, we are super straight. We're only attracted to that particular sex. And you're trying to crush us for that? You're the oppressor. You're just pushing your ideals onto us. You're trying to infringe onto us. And it goes against everything.
The super straight movement transphobic. First, let's look at the definition of transphobic, which is an adjective, for someone who has transphobia, which is a noun. Phobia usually refers to someone afraid of something. I have arachnophobia, I'm afraid of spiders. But it can also mean to hate something. Someone with transphobia would have negative attitudes, feelings, or actions towards transgender people. So does that fit the definition of the super straight orientation? And as a reminder, the super straight orientation would not date a trans person. Let's think. If you have a preference for one thing and not the other, does that mean you hate the other thing? No, not at all. Otherwise, people that are homosexual would be classified as phobic of heterosexual people. Heterosexual means straight. Though I do agree that some people could use the movement or orientation as a way to mock trans people and be transphobic, at its core, the definition is not transphobic. For example, I'm super straight and I love and support trans people, but I personally wouldn't date one.
Everybody's not racist or transphobic just because they have a preference.
Thank you so much for making this video. Just because a straight man is not attracted to a trans woman does not mean that he is transphobic. Nor does it mean that he thinks of you as any less of a woman. It doesn't matter if he says it's because you're trans. Guess what, sweetie? Not everyone has to sleep with you in order to stay away from being transphobic. And for those of you who want to try and say that sex is not everything, for most people when it comes to dating or a relationship, sex is going to come up eventually. Last time I checked, as trans women, we wanted men to stop fetishizing us. So why are we now trying to force them to have sex with us in order to not be transphobic? My mind literally explodes every time I hear this argument. It is insanity. Don't be bitter, do better.
The center of courage, the first inheritance, super straight we were born, a flag cannot be torn. Super straight with men and women born. Super straight, together we have sworn. We shall always from then and now date men and women born.